Hi, this is Dr. Megan DeLeon Miller,
And this is Joe Smith.
and we're finally back with We'll Decide Wednesday. It seems like it's just Joe and I for today. No members from the collective joined us as we come back from being off for a month, but I did update the wheel a little bit, so we'll see what we come up with. Should we go ahead and spin it?
Let's spin that wheel. And since it's been a while, if you guys don't know what the wheel is, it's just a wheel of random topics that we have no prep work. We didn't prep this or what to say. And we're just going to speak on it for 2 minutes and 30 seconds each.
It took it a second. It was like,
Yeah.
out there for a second. All right. So today's topic is reading interventions. That's definitely something we have not talked about on here before. Joe, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I don't know where to go with this, but I'll go with it. I'll start. How about that? And I'm going to talk about it according to the background of a teacher. Because I have more experience with that side. All right. So I'm setting up my clock and my time starts now. All right. So reading interventions, I typically do not write treatment goals for reading interventions, especially just because of TRICARE's policies on writing goals that are academic based. So for me, when I think of reading interventions, the first things that I think of is what we did back in school as a teacher. And I think this would help out parents as well, who have, or even BCBAs or technicians who have clients who are struggling reading. This is some like suggestions and also some programs that might be beneficial for them to look at to do at home after session. So as a teacher, what we did is for each student that came into our program, again, I work for a specialized program. It was still a public day school, but it wasn't the gen ed setting. It was self-contained setting, but more restrictive than just you would typically find in schools. But we used a program called LLI, which is leveled literacy intervention. It's from Fontes and Pinnell. It's a great program. I have seen so much success using it. But basically, what it is set up to do is like every week is going to be a new week for the client. First, you start with a pre-assessment, see how well they do, and then you let them read for a day of a brand new book. The second day, you assess them, and then the third day, you practice the book again, and then it goes into another book. So the book is ever changing. It's based on the level. Some days you will have, especially in the lower levels, you will have a different book every single day or every other day. It's been a couple years since I did it, but it's been such an amazing program. And then if we are finding that the students have difficulty with their blends or identifying sight words, we will do sight word practice. We'll use programs, a book called Words That Matter, I believe. I'll have to find that book, but it's a great book and it does a lot of word sorting. Oh no, that's what it is. It's word sorting book. I had to look for the title, but it's a word sort book, and it goes by. It has so many different lessons, and it's super simple, but it really helps out the child build their skills with blends and different letter sounds and identifying initial letters. So it's really great intervention. Also, we have used Lexia which is a computer program and the kids love it. It's really interactive, and it does a great job at slicing those skills down little by little for the child to have success. And my time's up, Megan.
Awesome. Wow, that was a lot of information in 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
It's,
Mom has
it's,
popped on and said hello. Hi, Vicky. Nice to
Hi,
see
Vicky.
you.
So yeah, I mean, I think like for me, like just being a school teacher for 12 years and teaching reading and language arts for that long, you just develop a craft for it, and you just know your craft so well.
Yeah.
But I would say that that's the same way as a BSBA, as for seasoned BSBAs that have been in the field for 12 years, they develop a craft, and they're also their own develop tools over the years.
Yes.
I feel like I'm still like in my first couple years as a new teacher.
Yeah.
I'm getting there, but it's taking some time.
It's always learning. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do mine. Yeah, there's a ton that could be said about reading interventions. One of the things for me that I think is important for behavior analysts to understand is our limits of competency around reading. I know when I first started in the field, we were doing in-home services, insurance wasn't funding things, and most of the programming was designed to prepare children for like kindergarten, because we were doing a lot of early intervention, and there were pretty much every home program, once the children reached a certain level, we would have like word to picture matching and sight word matching and receptive ID and things like that, phonics. But none of it was really based around the research on reading and how you teach reading. And honestly, in the school system, most of the curriculums used in mainstream or any other type of school isn't based on the research that's been done on how kids learn how to read either. There's the National Reading Panel, and they have 5 different components of reading. So I didn't learn about any of these things until I was in the doc program at Ohio State, and I was taking not even my graduate classes for the doc program, but if anyone's listened to this story before, they tried to require me to do an undergrad degree in teaching as well when I was there, which I almost finished, but I finally got out of. And that was through some of those classes that I had to take that I really learned more about reading. And then there was one class we took for the doc program that was like a precision teaching class that talked about it. And then also I was a graduate assistant for the reading. There was a reading clinic that we did that was led by Dr. Gardner, that was based in precision teaching, and it was at a local elementary school in their 2nd grade. So there's all of these components of reading intervention. Like I'm not even going to be able to touch on in like 30 seconds, but if you are a behavior analyst who is tasked with teaching children how to read, even if it's just early reading, whether it's, I don't know, most insurance isn't going to fund that at this point anyway, but if you're somehow finding yourself teaching reading, make sure you do the work to learn about what effective reading interventions are, and that you don't just like make stuff up because that's not going to benefit the child. And there's so much unlearning that the child will have to do if you're not doing it properly. And there's a couple of resources. I'm out of time, but I'll just mention, if you're just kind of getting started, I would definitely check out 100 Easy Lessons to Reading and the Maloney method, because both of those are based in precision teaching and direct instruction, and they use instructional design, and they infuse the different research that's been done on reading interventions. And again, if you haven't read like the National Reading Panel and the results of that, there's tons of websites that summarize that information and talk about, phonics and segmenting and blending and all phonemic awareness, all of those types of things. So we need to know about all of those types of things, even teaching like word to picture matching or sight words. That in and of itself, if you don't have an understanding of like where reading is going, can really be detrimental. So please don't do it unless you know what you're doing.
Yes, please don't. That's why there's reading specialists in schools that know the craft, and they know where a child should be and like where they can start implementing programs to move them up through the ranks. There is a specific there's a specific way or procedure of like moving up the ranks, just like any of our other procedures. Like there's a specific guideline as to what needs to come first, so then you don't have so many splinter skills.
Yep. Yep. Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close us out for today. I haven't seen any comments come in, and hopefully we'll get some more people on here live next Wednesday at 10 a.m. and we'll see what the wheel decides. As always, if you have topics that you'd like for us to discuss, feel free to send them to us, put them in the chat, or post them in the collective, and we will add those to the wheel.
All right. Sounds great.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Joe.
Bye, Megan.